At this time, it is my honor to introduce the governor of the great state of Wisconsin, the Honorable Scott Walker.
Thank you. Thank you. Speaker Voss, Speaker Pro Tem August, President Roth, Majority Leader Fitzgerald, Minority Leader Schilling. I was going to say Barca first, but I'm going to Schilling. Minority Leader Barca, Supreme Court Justices, constitutional officers, members of the Cabinet, tribal leaders, members of the legislature, distinguished guests, and most importantly, my fellow citizens of the great state of Wisconsin. It's an honor to appear before you this afternoon to talk about our budget plan. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize the commander of the Wisconsin National Guard, Major General Donald Dunbar. Major Dunbar, I would like to thank you and the 10,000 strong members of the Wisconsin National Guard. A special thanks to those deployed, including members of the units from Madison and West Bend who departed since we last gathered together here for the State of the State address. God be with you and with your families until you safely return home again. The state of our state is strong, and the state of our budget, well, it's outstanding. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. This budget includes historic investments in our priorities. We're putting more money into public education than ever before, making college even more affordable, caring for the truly needy, building a stronger infrastructure, rewarding work, and cutting taxes to the lowest point in decades. This is very good news. But first, let me tell you how all this is possible. Common sense reforms led to a strong economy, and wise fiscal management led us to a positive budget outlook. Specifically, lowering the burden on hardworking taxpayers helped put more money into the economy. Reducing excessive regulations and frivolous lawsuits helped improve the business climate so employers could add more jobs and offer higher wages. Just look at the results. During the past year, more people were employed in Wisconsin than ever before. Unemployment is now down to the lowest levels since January of 2001. And the percentage of people working in Wisconsin is among the best in the country. In other words, our economic reforms have been successful. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. In addition, we put in place reforms that help the government be better stewards of the taxpayers' money. We're able to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in state government. Independent studies now show that our Act 10 reforms have saved schools, local and state government some $5 billion. They note that the savings from those reforms more than cover the budgetary changes in the past. This year, the budget is projected to end with a higher than expected ending balance. Our rainy day fund is the largest in state history, 165 times bigger than we first took office. Our state pension system is one of only a few in the country that is fully funded. And our long-term outstanding debt is one of the lowest, meaning one of the best in the nation. In other words, our fiscal reforms have been successful. we are working and winning for Wisconsin. Overall, our common sense reforms brought us here, to the point where we have a significantly better budget outlook. We call this the reform dividend. And wow, as the Fiscal Bureau pointed out, that's a lot of money. People tell us the reforms were necessary. Now they want us to move ahead, and we listen. This budget moves Wisconsin forward. Our priorities fall into three categories: student success, accountable government, and rewarding work. Our budget includes major new investments in each of these areas. To help improve student success, we're investing more money into education than ever before in the history of Wisconsin. We are putting $11.5 billion of state support into K through 12 education. Specifically, this budget includes a more than $500 million increase in per pupil aid for public education. Just in case any of you missed that, let me repeat that. We are investing more money into public education than ever before. Last November, the State Department of Public Instruction requested an increase of $200 per student in the first year and a $204 increase per student in the second year in the budget. At the time, some suggested that we could not get close to that request. Well, this budget provides a $200 per pupil increase in the first year and a $204 increase per student in the second year. Ironically, I don't remember critics saying the budget request from the Department of Public Instruction wasn't enough last fall, which is probably why school leaders all across the state are saying such positive things about our budget proposal. And because our Act 10 reforms, these significant new dollars for education will overwhelmingly go into the classroom. In the past, our reforms allowed school districts to achieve substantial savings. Our budget, however, is not about the past. It's about looking forward to addressing the workforce needs of the future. In this budget, we use the reform dividend to invest more into public schools. We put more into rural schools with unique needs. We do more to improve schools in Milwaukee. We do more to expand programs that help students get early college credits. We do more to expand career and technical education. We do more to help recruit and retain excellent teachers. In addition to providing major new funding for our public schools, we do more to help charter and choice schools. You see, I want every child to succeed, and I trust parents to make the right decision for their children. Our reforms make it easier for schools to put these new funds into the classroom. On top of that, we continue funding for academic and career plans to help students start taking courses that count for graduation and whatever option they choose after school. One of those options is attending a technical college. This budget freezes tuition for technical college students. At the same time, we increase support for technical colleges and improve their performance system. You see, we need more people in manufacturing, agriculture, transportation, healthcare, information technology, and other key areas. Wisconsin's 16 technical colleges are helping us fill high-demand career areas. Another great option is the University of Wisconsin system. To help improve student success, the UW system will receive an increase of more than $100 million in this state budget. Now, working with the UW Board of Regents, we're building a performance-based system for new funds. That will include criteria like the number of graduates, the length of time to graduate, how many graduates are employed, and how many are in high-demand areas within the state. We want student success to help fuel the growth of the Wisconsin economy. We also include a system to reward professors who spend more time teaching. This will reverse a nationwide trend where professor time in the undergraduate classroom is down while tuition has gone up. In fact, nationally, it's up about 4 times the rate of inflation since 1978. Wisconsin needs to be a leader in providing quality higher education that is indeed affordable. That's why our budget also includes the largest investment in history for need-based financial assistance for students at colleges and universities all across the state. And to make our public institutions even more affordable, I am proud to announce our budget reduces tuition for undergraduates from Wisconsin by 5% at all UW campuses. This helps students like Anastasia, Eric, and Bailey are here with us tonight, and many others like them across the state. During the decade before our freeze, tuition went up 118%. If that trend had continued, a typical UW student would be paying $6,300 more over the past 4 years. Thankfully, we froze tuition 4 years in a row, and that helped turn that trend around. But students, parents, and others are telling me that they are concerned about the high cost of higher education. Our reduction in tuition will save an average student $360 per year, and that's on top of the benefits of the freeze. To cover the reduction in tuition, we specifically put $35 million more into the UW system. To be clear, that's on top of the more than $100 million in new state funding we're putting into the UW system. Reducing tuition by putting more money into the UW is very much like lowering property taxes by putting more money into public schools in the state. This budget does both. Our budget also includes a bonus payment for public education that supports student success through accountable government. Following up on a promise made in the 2016 State of the State address, we spent more than a year examining ways to improve how government provides health insurance to state employees. The Commission on Government Reform, Efficiency, and Performance reports that 46 states have some form of self-insured plan, and nearly half of those states are fully self-insured, including our neighbor, Minnesota. As you think about this reform, consider this. Across our state, employers, healthcare systems, schools, institutions of higher education, and others are successfully using self-insurance plans to make healthcare affordable for their employees and to make their dollars go further. We can do the same. Moving the state to a self-insured plan, we believe, will save Wisconsin taxpayers at least $60 million during this budget cycle. As promised, we put that money entirely into public education. Part of it will go to our K-12 public schools, and part of it will go to the UW system. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. Student success is a priority, which is why we reinvest the reform dividend into our schools, our technical colleges, and our University of Wisconsin system. We also use the reform dividend to help reduce the burden on the hardworking taxpayers. First, we will continue to lower property taxes. As promised, property taxes on a median valued home will be lower in 2018 than they were in 2010. Think about that. As a percentage of personal income, they are now the lowest they've been since World War II. To drive them down even further, we're getting rid of the state portion of your property tax bill. For the first time since 1931, there will be no state tax collected on your property tax bill. Second, we fully implement the manufacturing and agriculture production tax credit. Over the past year, we ranked first in the Midwest for new manufacturing jobs. We want that trend to continue. Plus, we want to help our family farmers. Third, we will help working families with a sales tax holiday on school supplies and clothing. This will encourage people to shop at businesses that employ people right here in Wisconsin, while helping working families with children in school. Fourth, we cut income taxes. As promised, income taxes in 2018 will be lower than they were in 2010. Overall, income taxes on a typical family will go down by more than $130 in this budget. So cumulatively, from 2010 to 2018, that's a savings of $1,542. Overall, the total new tax relief in our budget is $592 million. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. At a time when we have significant new revenues, we need to lower the overall burden on the hardworking people of Wisconsin. Reinvesting in you, the taxpayers, will ensure that our economy continues to grow. So let me be clear, now is not the time to raise taxes. We should not raise taxes on farmers and manufacturers. We should not raise the income tax. We should not raise the gas tax. Instead, now that we have higher than expected revenues from the reform dividend, we need to use those dollars to fund our priorities. That's exactly what this budget does for the people of Wisconsin. Accountable government also means investing resources where they are needed. That's why we're expanding broadband internet services to every part of the state. It means helping family farmers improve their operations to limit runoff. And it is about improving staffing and facilities at our state veterans' homes. A solid transportation system is also part of being accountable to the taxpayers. Our budget includes more funding for local governments to fix roads and bridges and potholes than they've seen in more than a decade and a half. It also includes the largest amount ever for the rehabilitation of state highways. This budget gets all of the active major projects outside of southeastern Wisconsin back on track. It adds funding for the work on Interstate 94 from the state line north through Kenosha and Racine counties. And it frees up resources to address the long-term transportation needs of the state, putting in place new reforms that will help lower the cost of building our infrastructure. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. Another part of making government more accountable to the taxpayers comes from rewarding work. We want everyone who wants a job to find a job and a career. For all who are able, we want to enable them to work. Wisconsin Works for Everyone builds off of the positive welfare reform started by my friend and yours, former Governor Tommy Thompson, under what was then called Wisconsin Works, or W-2. We want to ensure that people who are able to work actually enter the workforce. For starters, that means that able-bodied adults will need to be employed at least 80 hours a month to receive benefits like food stamps. If not, they'll need to be enrolled in our job training program. On top of that, we're working with the new administration and Congress to get approval to expand drug testing for people seeking public assistance. If they fail the test, we provide treatment to get them healthy and back into the workforce. You see, employers are eager to find individuals with fundamental employability skills who can pass a drug test. We want to get people back up on their feet again and into the workforce. But let me be clear. Wisconsin Works for Everyone goes beyond traditional welfare reform. We extend child care benefits so people don't hit a certain income level and then immediately drop off of any assistance. For many in the past, this becomes a deterrent to working more hours or taking a promotion. Our reforms will eliminate the so-called cliff. In addition to removing barriers to work, we know that strengthening strong two-parent families is another key to success. With this in mind, we expand the Earned Income Tax Credit to make it more attractive to work and to fix the marriage penalty. The Commission on the Future of the Family reminded us to focus early and often on the success sequence. It is simple. Graduate from school, get a job, and wait until you're 21 and married to have a child. Research shows that those who do so are overwhelmingly more likely to succeed. Another way to reduce poverty is to expand successful programs that we have in Kenosha and Brown counties that works with parents who owe child support so we can get them employed and back to paying their child support. This is good for the taxpayers, but most of all, it's good for the children. Wisconsin Works for Everyone also includes changes to make it easier for people with disabilities to enter the workforce without fear of quickly losing assistance. Similarly, we provide a new way to help young adults who age out of things like foster care so they can enter the workforce. We also propose expanding career and technical training in our correctional facilities to help transition offenders into the workforce. You see, a good job is one of the best ways to keep people from re-entering the system. People want to work. It goes against our human nature to think that we should permanently be dependent on the government. Here in Wisconsin, we are good and decent people. We will help our fellow citizen when they are down and out. But public assistance should be a trampoline, not a hammock. Part of expanding our workforce also requires removing barriers to employment and to people starting their own small businesses. Our budget creates a panel to review occupational licenses to determine which are truly needed to protect public health and safety, and which of those licenses are just there as barriers to employment. Wisconsin Works for Everyone will help all of those who are able to enter the workforce and pursue a career that is right for them. It's just one more way that we are working and winning for Wisconsin. So think about it for a moment. More people were employed last year in Wisconsin than at any point in our history. We have one of the highest percentages of people working of any state in the nation. And our unemployment rate is the lowest it's been, well, since Tommy Thompson was governor. That's a long time ago. That's January of 2001. We are indeed working and winning for Wisconsin. With this budget, we are adding another $20 million to the Rainy Day Fund, making it 178 times larger. Sorry, that screws up your bingo card. 178 times larger than it was when we first took office. Our outstanding long-term debt is one of the lowest in the country. Our state has one of the only fully funded pension systems in the nation, and our budgets continue to end with surpluses. We are working and winning for Wisconsin. The common sense reforms that help build this healthy economy and strong management of our state resources created our positive budget outlook. That's the reform dividend. Now, we are investing the reform dividend into our priorities: student success, reduced college cost, care for the needy, maintenance of our roads and bridges, ways to reward work, and lower taxes. This is a solid budget built on a strong foundation. The reform dividend we created gives us plenty of ways to support our priorities. To all of you here and those watching at home, I ask for your support of this budget. Working together, let's keep moving Wisconsin forward. Indeed, we are working and winning for Wisconsin. Thank you all. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless our men and women in uniform. May God bless the state of Wisconsin. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.